What's up, gents? If you are a regular watcher of the show, you noticed that I canceled last week's videos. With everything going on in Ukraine, it just didn't feel like the right time to talk about that. And I still don't really, it's still going on. It's like, okay, I have these pre-recorded videos of me playing video games and stuff, but because it's way pre-recorded, I'm not like mentioning it or talking about it at all. And it's obviously like a big event in the world right now. And so I just canceled them and was like, what do I do with this? And so I'll start releasing the pre-recorded stuff here soon. But I have a couple things I want to talk about today. On the latter half of the video, I'm going to have stories that are relevant to Russia. I have not been to Ukraine. I've been to Russia. Hopefully some funnier stories that are relatively, on the line and just kind of relevant. But before that, I want to talk about some other things. The first of which is that I canceled it. I am a marketer and designer professionally, so I put together some Teespring videos. If you want to, or Teespring videos, Teespring store called Liberty's Closet, and if you want to support that over there, I don't have it yet because I literally just finished posting it before I started making this video. You can buy a shirt, and all the proceeds are going to go to some sort of Ukrainian relief. I don't know, if there's like an ammunition funding place that I can support, or if it's American Red Cross. I've personally donated to the Red Cross to help with Ukrainian relief. If it's to like Airbnb to help relocate, all of that will depend on what's going on in the world at the time, who opens what charity and everything. So I'll be honest and transparent about where I'm going to be donating it, but right now it's not super clear where the best place is to donate it, and depending on how long people are buying the shirts for, you never know. So yeah, I'll be clear about where I'm donating it, but all of the proceeds from that will be given to Ukrainian relief efforts. So, and or if combat is still going on, food and supplies. So, outside of that, I don't want to like be someone who's like jumping on the bandwagon. I'm not trying to like grab a bunch of views and stuff. So I'm hoping if there's any sort of a negative connotation here, I'm just trying to put out content in general, and I didn't want to put out content that didn't mention it at all. But in this time, hopefully people are seeing some positive stuff. I've got this kind of sort of propaganda-y thing of the Ghost of Kyiv, which is probably not even a real ace fighter pilot. It's probably propaganda, but I'll talk about that in a minute. But I want to make something positive, something kind of related, and anything that looks like it could be for clout. If for whatever reason this became a popular episode, most episodes are getting $50 or 50 views, and I could get like a couple of shirt sales out of that, which I won't be profiting from. So hopefully that helps. If anything like that happens, hopefully the benefit will be towards Ukrainian relief and Ukrainian support at the end of this. So. On the Ghost of Kyiv, while this is all happening, there's like these three like really cool stories of Ukrainian heroism. One of which almost definitely is true, and two of which are probably not true. One is the Ukrainian Reaper, who's said to have had like 20 to 30 confirmed kills, and the Ghost of Kyiv, who's supposed to be like an ace fighter pilot who shot down like 6, 7, 8, 9. Russian warplanes, and it's like you don't see any. You just see videos and pictures of them flying around or standing still. Probably not real, but it encapsulates the spirit of everything. Ukraine has held out against one of the world's most powerful militaries for a shocking amount of time. So I'm okay with a little bit of storytelling. On one hand, you want to know what's true in the world and not tell lies, and on the other hand, like Captain America, Rosie the Riveter are not real characters, but they have something to say about what Americans think about themselves. And at the moment, and not with Captain America, but with like Rosie the Riveter, I'm sure that inspired many women to get into these fields that they hadn't been in before as a source of patriotism. And at the end of that, that's a good cause. Yeah, we know she's not real, or she was I think she actually was kind of real, but like the myth around her wasn't. Similar with George Washington. It's like we know George Washington was a real person, but not being able to tell a lie or the whole cherry tree thing, that probably didn't happen. But it's important to how Americans think of themselves, and you can have very similar like Ukrainian mythos that's developing right now. Same thing with Snake Island, where they're like, go F yourselves, Russian warship, leave us alone, we're not surrendering. Even if they did say that, they weren't bombed afterwards. It seems like they were taken into custody and just arrested. But there was a real suicide bomber who blew up a bridge to keep tanks from coming across. I've seen real videos of people, Ukrainians, kneeling in front of Russian tanks to keep them from moving forward briefly. No one's been run over from what I've seen. And yeah, I just want to commend their heroism, even if they aren't like 100% true stories, if they're inflated or if they're 0% true. At the end of this, again, the goal is to raise world morale, European morale, and most importantly, Ukrainian morale as they are doing heroic things, and inspire the rest of the world to hopefully do heroic things as well. So, I don't think it's the worst thing in the world to talk about the Russian Reaper, the Ukrainian Reaper, or the Ghost of Kyiv. So, or Snake Island, whatever, it's cool. So, as far as the stories I wanted to tell today, I want to talk a little bit more about how humans use like fiction and storytelling. We almost entirely understand ourselves and abstract ideas through like metaphor. So, for instance, if I told you to stop being bothered by something that was bothering you, I'd tell you to get past it or get over it. Like literally moving around an object or getting over a river from one side of not accepting thing to another side of accepting something. We're very like story driven and similarly in metaphorical people. That's how we conceptualize things. And so sometimes we tell stories to inspire ourselves. We put up statues to inspire ourselves. And even if Captain America is not like a literal person, and we all know he's not a literal person, it gives us something to point towards. So anyways, the stories. I was in Russia a couple years ago. I took a Baltic cruise, and so we did Sweden, Finland, Russia, Latvia, Estonia. And there's kind of three stories here. The very first one is going into Latvia and Estonia. And I try not to get super political on this channel, but I am an American. There's a large pro-gun culture here. I'm one of those people. And for a while, I was considering myself to not be the most pro-gun. I was like, okay, maybe there's a lot of restrictions that can be put in place. Maybe we don't need this or that. Maybe it's not all that necessary. And then, like, to hear the stories of the Latvian and Estonian people who were run over by Russians on one hand and Germans on the other during World War II. And they're like, we're celebrating 100 years of nationhood. It's like, no, you're not. You got interrupted by years and years of being invaded by these other more massive countries. And now, you see them carrying around all these M16s because they're, the U.S. is giving them old weaponry from like the Vietnam and Korea eras so that they can defend themselves. And God, hopefully they can do so. Hopefully, that's obviously a huge deal now. They're right in the way of Russia now. And so, staying ready, staying vigilant, and staying prepared are big things. So that's the super brief story. I'm going to tell more stories on this channel, but and I was thinking about animating a lot of them, but today, again, I just wanted to get something out because at the end of this, it's not just the stories, it is the actual like shirt campaign, and I have no idea how relevant that will be or for how long. So if it can, get out there sooner and start making something to send out, that's what I want to do. So second story is we're actually in Russia at this point, and we're in St. Petersburg, and we're at like this duty-free pickup, all sorts of things. It's like a weird like mini mall where they have like, imagine almost a swap meet, and the swap meet has a bunch of different stations. In the middle, there's two guys, brothers, who are running like this little like curio shop almost. So they've got I'm gonna butcher this, like Vitrivska dolls, the Russian nesting dolls, and they've got sports teams from the United States and all that kind of stuff. It's very like, oh, what do the Americans want to buy? And so I'm going through. I see a telescope. I see some of the fun like Soviet fuzzy hats with like I say fun Soviet hats. There's no such thing as a fun Soviet. They're monsters. They killed many people. But you know what I mean. Like the costume itself is fun, and like little like funky shot glasses and stuff. So, anyways, I'm looking through all this stuff, and one of the brothers was like, "Oh, you want Putin cup?" And I was like, "What? I don't. What is that?" And he's like, "Putin cup. You want Putin cup?" And I was like, "I don't know. Like, is this like poutine? Like you do poutine here, and you're giving me food? Is this like a pudding cup? I don't know." And so I go over and see it, and it's a picture of Putin shirtless riding a bear, and it's like Putin cup, and I'm like, "Oh, you mean Putin cup?" And it's like, yeah, I think like this is way before, but even then, Americans don't really like Putin for the most part. And I was like, I don't think you super know what Americans like. I apparently have 4 stories to share. So I just kind of left that and went away. But I had a kind of a fun going into Russia thing. I used to have shorter hair, and I was carrying coming in cargo pants and like a white and an olive shirt and my buzz cut, and I had a black Molly backpack on. And I don't like the black Molly backpack because it looks really like tactical, but it's just what I had. It's very comfortable because there's a nice big waistband on it. And I was gonna be walking around all day, so I walked in and I was like, yeah. And they're like, you are military? And I was like, no, I'm not in the military, and I'm not in the military. And so they let me through. That's like the shortest little story, but it comes super relevant when I tell story number 4. These are going to be like rapid fire stories. But the first 3 were a lot shorter. This one's a little bit longer. So here's how my trip went. I left from Georgia, went to JFK, which is in New York. That's the airport. And then I flew to Sweden. Went Sweden, Finland, Russia, Latvia, Estonia, Sweden, and then flew back. And so I had multiple backpacks that I had. Like I said, I didn't really like the Molly backpack, so I kept it because it's big and it's comfortable. But I just put a bunch of stuff in there, and I flew with a different backpack. And some days, if I was going to be walking around a lot, I decided to bring the black Molly bag with me, but most days I didn't. I decided that I wanted to bring the other backpack, the gray Patagonia backpack. And so I happened to go into Russia this one day with this black backpack. And then I didn't use it for a couple of days. And then when I was flying home, instead of checking the black backpack, I checked the Patagonia and flew home with the black Molly backpack. And so I put the Molly backpack in the apparatus, the X-ray machine, and I kind of take off all my clothes, and not all my clothes, whoa, all my shoes and my belt and everything, and go through. And they keep scanning my bag, and they'll be like, oh, you've got like an electrical thing in here? And I was like, no, maybe it's this charger, because I had a big like iPad charger with like a big block on it, so we took that out, and I was like, maybe I have like a brick that's a power brick. It's like a solar power and phone charger thing, and so we took that out, and we keep taking more and more things out to try and figure out what this like electrical brick is in the backpack. And eventually the backpack is just empty. There's nothing in there, but I'm like, I don't know what to tell you. There's nothing else in that backpack. But I can clearly see on the X-ray, she's like, there it is. What's that? And I was like, I don't know. Then I remember, behind the backpack straps, you fold them back, there's a little Velcro pouch so that you can put a hydration bladder in there. So I say, oh, let me open it and we'll see what's inside. So we open it and see what's inside, and she reaches in and pulls out a stun gun. So, years and years before, I'd been going through, I think it was San Antonio, and my friend and I were carpooling to Florida, and my friend's parents were in the first car, we were in the second, and they're both cops, so they're both like armed to the teeth. And I had nothing because I was going to work at Disney at the time, and we're not supposed to have anything, so I have a stun gun in the back, but it's completely useless to us. So there's this guy like walking around looking inside their like brand new Camaro, and so we were real freaked out. Nothing ended up happening, but on the way back from Disney, I decided I wanted the stun gun with me, so I put it in that Velcro pouch, and then forgot about it for years and years and years. So, by the way, if you have any sort of a weapon, I don't care if it's a toy, a lethal weapon, like when I say toy, I mean like BB gun or something, keep track of those things because it can come back to bite you, like when you go through international security with what is considered a street weapon in that country. And they only got it through because it's a stun gun, it's a brick, it's not a taser, which is shaped like a firearm. And so no one is like freaking out about it. But obviously it's bad when you're trying to get onto an airplane in a country where it's illegal, and even where it's not illegal. And so I was real freaked out. All of a sudden I'm like, oh crap, I'm going to jail in this country. And I'm just like, oh my God, I am so sorry. There's no reason why that should be in there. I don't want it. You can take it. I don't need it. Get rid of it, destroy it forever. I don't care. I don't want that. And so they speak enough English. They're like, yeah, okay, all right. They're being super calm about this, but we're like super late for our plane at this point. All of the family has boarded except for the dad. So my now wife, her sister, and their mom are all on the plane, and the dad's like just livid in the corner, like bouncing up and down, just super, super angry at me. The cops show up and they're like, hey, why do you have this? I kind of explained the situation to them, and they're like, okay, well, this is a street weapon in this country, and like the consequences for Swedes who had this would be not good, but we don't hold Americans to as high of a standard. So great, now I get to be the super dumb. I'm trying to watch my words on this one so I'm not swearing, but like the super dumb American who's unwise with their weapons. And I was, to be fair, I lost it when I was 19, and so oops, what messed that up real bad. And they were like, okay, well, we can't give this back to you. We can destroy it. I'm like, I bought this for $15 on Amazon like years ago. I don't need this. Get rid of it. Destroy it. And they gave me like this like discharge paperwork. So I have like fun like impound documentation saying that it got taken from me and everything. But I know this sounds like a story about Sweden, but the big thing is like the Swedes were cool. The Russians, who thought I might have been in the military, if I would have smuggled a weapon into their country, I wouldn't be here to make this video right now. But despite that, and despite all of the checkpoints I went through, like there's a bunch of like monuments and stuff I went to, and I didn't set anything off. Like they weren't freaked out by this little square electrical thing. They didn't think it was a weapon. Again, it's not like a lethal weapon, but man, it's crazy how many things I got through and didn't get flagged or anything when I could have gone to jail, and very unsafe, not good jails for the rest of my life. So praise whoever you praise out there. I'm gonna praise God that nothing happened to me. Whew, that was a good time. So those are my Russia stories. Is there any conclusion to take from this? I don't want to say anything, but you know, there's reason to hope sometimes. Russia doesn't necessarily need to be the biggest, baddest person on the face of the planet. Yeah, I mean, if I would have gone to their prison, it would have been horrible. But you know, the main reason for this is for you to have something that's kind of related, so that I can plug the shirts. Please go buy a shirt. Let me see what I have everything running at. I think shirts are as cheap as $23, and there's a standard and a premium version, and then same thing with hoodies. There's a standard and premium. Standard is $39, and the premium is $49 basically. I'm leaving out all the $99 stuff, but yeah, if you do that, again, I'll be super transparent here. I will link the store below. As I decide places where I'm going to put any proceeds, depending on how many there are, as I donate them to different places as things move on, if that becomes something that I'm able to do, I will post where the amount and to where I am posting everything in the description below. So there'll be like a running total of where everything's going, just for transparency's sake. So anyways, thank you so much for watching. Like I said, more stories like this. I probably will do more short shirt designs in the future, and I might like talk about stuff while I actually like Photoshop them and stuff in the future. But anyways, thank you so much for watching. That's probably going to be the only video for this week, and like I said, I'm not going to do any complex edits or animation on this, but I probably will in the future. So anyways, thank you so much for watching today, gents. Have a great rest of your day. Keep your chin up. I said this when I left the other day. Do some squats, do some push-ups. Remember that there may be a time where your family, your community, and your country may need you, and keep developing virtue in your life, because you never know. It's important all the time, but sometimes it's more important than others. So stay sharp out there, stay strong, get stronger and better every day, and I'll see you next week. Thanks, gents.